All right, everybody. Average Joe DIY here. Just going over a simple concrete pad pour. Just putting a little extension on my patio here. So the very simplest way to do it is you're going to dig down, usually about 6 to 8 inches. You want to get about 3 inches at minimum of stone. I just got some multi-purpose stone from Lowe's. Put it down, compacted it. I did have some rebar laying around, so I decided to rebar it. What I did was drilled in to my existing patio, 1/2-inch drill bit in 3 spots, and then the back of my house, it's actually the back of my garage, but the back of my house, 3 spots. Go about 6 to 8 inches in, and then what you do is you tap the rebar in. That way it just gives a tying point to each point. I use some rebar ties to tie everything together and just put some rocks under each cross point of the rebar. That gives it a little height. That way concrete can get underneath it. And the form is pretty self-explanatory. I got some extra rebar on this side just to hold it up. And I use some wood on this side here. What you want to do is make sure everything's square. So you're going to measure out from the house, get a nice straight line here, make sure all the measurements match up, and as well as from this side. And what you can do to cross-check your measurements is measure diagonally. So you measure from here to there, and there to there. As long as those measurements match up, or they're pretty close, everything should be square and true. Also, what I did was, if you put a level, some pads you want it to be level. This pad in particular, I don't want the water coming back towards the house, right? So what I did was, this side over here, put a level on and tap this corner down just a little bit. That way it has a little bit of slope to it, as well as this one here, just off level. That way everything basically from this corner, any kind of water will flow towards this corner and out in the yard. You never want water puddling up, especially against the house. All right, I'll get back with you guys when we start pouring. All right, guys, back at it again. Sorry, I'm working by myself today, mixing by hand, so I just want to give you a little update. So all I'm doing, mixing by hand, a little on the wet side, pouring it in, and just using a 2x4 to scrape it back towards me. Once it sets up, all the water comes up to the top, then I'll be able to trim it out and trowel it out. But for now, I'm just working a little bit at a time, doing about a foot at a time, getting the 2x4, getting it nice and straight all the way to the end. All right, guys, I'm back here. It's super hot today, 90 degrees, and humidity is probably 60-70%, so I've had to move pretty fast. So I got the pad troweled out, edged out. Looks pretty good. All I'm using here, Harbor Freight edger, Harbor Freight trowel. I think it was $15 for the whole setup. It comes with a shorter trowel and a gap trowel if you were to put any seams in it. So just waiting a few more minutes here, I'll be able to brush it out and we should be all set. All right, guys, so far so good. I'm just battling the heat here. I just want to give a quick tip. Started brushing this side. This is where I started, obviously. Everything looks good. You want to wait until you really don't see any water on top of the pad. And then you can start to brush. Like I said, today it's super hot, so things are moving very fast. I just want to show you a tip here with the edger. When you're edging, if you're moving to the right, you want to keep the right side up. Not all the way up, just so it doesn't dig into the concrete. And you can kind of tilt it back this way, keep it flat. And then as you come back the opposite way, you want to tilt this side down and left side up and come like that, okay? So it's just a little tip to get a nice clean edge. Obviously, the more it dries, you just want to keep working over it. Sometimes the corners can be a little tricky. Just want to get right in there, feather it out. And feather this side. And see how it's up a little bit. You just keep dragging it and up. And then you can brush it out after that. As you can see over here, this is the final product. And we're just waiting for the water to come up on this end so I can broom it. And as you can see, just using a good old push broom. I wet it down a little bit just to make it flow a little bit better. Alright guys, pretty much finished up. Got a little broom on it. A couple little spots are still wet. I got a broom. Edges are pretty much done. I'll go over them again one more time just to make sure everything's straight. But turned out pretty good. This was a 6x6 pad. I used 20 bags and I had a little bit left over. There's calculators online that'll tell you how much you need. Yeah, so I think concrete was about 120 bucks. The rock was another 100 bucks. 10 bags of rock, compacted down. 20 bags of concrete got me to here. It was about 19 and a quarter bags. Got me the 6x6 pad. So a couple $100. Anybody can do this. I mean, it is hard, you know, mixing it by hand like I did. You can rent a mixer, 30-40 bucks for the day at your local hardware store. But I decided just to mix it. And then the trowel set from Harbor Freight was like 13 bucks, I think. So all in 250 bucks. I'm no professional. It just takes a little bit of time. It took me about 2.5 hours to mix, pour, and finish it off. All right, so now we're gonna let it dry, probably till tomorrow, and then I'll be able to knock the forms off and let it finish curing. If you guys have any questions at all, reach out to me. Try to help as best I can. Like I said, I'm no professional, but try to get stuff done on the cheap, but also try to do it the right way. Like, subscribe, share, reach out, like I said, if you have any questions.